let's talk about history.
Okay.
Did you study in history lessons when you were at school?
Sorry, I have some disconnection. Could you please repeat?
Yes. What did you study in history lessons when you were at school?
I always I always couldn't make a good connection with history, and because of that, it was just a bit boring for me. I try just to focus on my or on my score about at the school, since I can remember that I was scared a bit from my father because of my scores, and I really nowadays I can understand that history is significantly important for all of us, since if anyone never pay attention to the history, he or she or a government should repeat their ancestors' mistakes.
Okay. Did you enjoy studying history at school?
As I mentioned, it wasn't very pleasurable for me. However, I try to read it nowadays, but I can recall that we had a great teacher when I was in high school. He taught me some very valuable lessons, which was I can always remember it.
How often do you watch TV programs about history now?
Honestly, I rarely watch any TV programs, but since nowadays I try to learn something from history, I try to listen to some podcasts which named Roh. This podcast is great, and I just try to. It's better to say that I'm keen on managing, and I want to study management in the near future. And I guess history is a part of management, and because of that, I try to make a better connection with this field.
What period in history would you like to learn more about?
I guess the period of I don't know, it's somehow challenging for me, but I guess the Cyrus period is really great for us, and we can find out that how great we were.
Okay. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
So, how do you think you did?
I guess I was nervous and I wasn't very well, but since it was an immediate live conversation, I guess I wasn't so bad, but somehow a medium one.
Very good judgment. Very good judgment. So let's see. So I started with the question, what did you study? And started with, I always, that's nice to start with, it's very natural. But then you said, I always couldn't make connection. So when you've got always, then you can't say couldn't. So how can you fix that? Can you fix that?
I always can't, or what?
Hey, you're talking about your life, right? So I haven't I haven't been able to. Yeah. So it would have been better, because you're talking about an experience, a life experience. It would have been, say, I haven't ever been able to connect with history or relate with history. Life experience. But then you said it was boring, and nowadays I realize how significant it is. That was nice. But again, then you said, if anyone never pays attention. So if anyone never pays attention, then they will repeat their ancestors' mistakes. So repeat their ancestors' mistakes is very nice. But if anyone never pays attention, there are a couple of things going wrong there. So you would say if, like, let's change anyone to like people or everyone. Yeah, recognizing it. So it would have been better if you said, if people don't pay attention.
Okay.
Yeah, like a generalized fact. But then in the second question, did you enjoy studying? I loved it that you started with, as I mentioned. A lot of times people say, you already asked me. I mean, they think that the examiner already asked me this question. Why are they asking this question again? Well, the reason is the question is in the booklet and the examiner must ask it. So if you have already kind of answered it, the best reply would be, as I have already mentioned. همونجور که قبلا خدمتتون عرض کردم. Okay, that would be polite and nice. And you said that. That was very good. But we don't really read history at school. I know in Farsi we say میخونیم, but in English we don't say read it. What do we do with lessons? What's the verb for lessons?
Do the lessons?
No, like mathematics, chemistry, literature. When you're doing it at school,
okay,
you know it. You're studying it. And we don't say we're reading history.
Study. Yeah.
As I mentioned, I think you said I didn't read it. It should have been I didn't study it. But then you use the word recall, a nice teacher that I had, and valuable things he taught you. Those words were very nice. How often do you watch TV? I love that part. You said honestly, rarely. That's, a lot of people use honestly, but they don't know where to use it. You use it in the correct context. So honestly, rarely watch television. That's nice. Then again, you said nowadays I'm listening to this podcast, but there were some things that were nice about it and some things that were not. You said nowadays I listen. It would have been better if you said, if you had said nowadays I'm listening. Because
yeah.
Very, which named Ruh, which is named.
Yeah, it's my common mistake.
And thank you for not changing the name Ruh to something in English, because Ruh is the name of the podcast. It's like when people change, I don't know, orme sabzi to vegetable stew. And Farsi name, you just name. And you used the quotation mark, which was very, very nice. So I listened to this podcast, which is named Ruh, and Keenan was very nice. Then I want to become a manager near future. Those collocations were nice. My last question was, what period in history would you like to learn more about? You said the Cyrus period. I
really don't know.
I don't think we say Cyrus period. It's the Achaemenian, Hachamaneshi, the Achaemenian. It is how, kind of went around not knowing the word. But just for your information, I would say the Achaemenian. And how we were, very nice structure. When you swap the common places of the words and how great we were. That was very good. Very good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about your learning experience? How have you become so good, let's say?
Sorry, would you please repeat it?
Yeah. How have you learned English?
How? Sorry, again.
How have you been to classes? Have you had general English?
Okay, yeah. I had some classes with Dr. Hania Mojadam, I guess, once a week, and it was online classes which satisfies me really.
Obviously they've been good. So did you use a specific book?
No, just this Cambridge books. I just used them, and Makar, which
Okay.
was very helpful for me.
I mean, I'm not only talking about IELTS. My question is about your general English.
Yeah. I listen to the podcasts a lot, every day almost, like Work Life, Simon, a bit of optimism. This podcast is directly connected to the management, and because of that, every day while I'm driving to the work, I listen to this podcast.
Excellent, very good. To listen to something that interests you, but listen to it in English.
Yeah, great.
That's why you've got a very nice accent.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
My pleasure. I'm very happy to see you and hope to see you again.
Thank you very much. The pleasure was all mine. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Okay. بچه چون دیدم این پایین هی دارین می نویسین اینو بگم که yes, of course the tests are for anyone. All you have to do is send a request to join, but I usually do one test and first in, first served. And I did announce it in the stories a couple of hours ago. So the thing is, whenever I think I'll have a few minutes free time, I'll go live and I'll do a speaking test, and then I'll upload it on the page, and I'll also upload my comments for you to enjoy and learn from. So, hoşça kal.